Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy Sleek here today, and I have something new and interesting for you guys to enjoy. So, probably in quarantine somewhere or out of school, and you're ready to enjoy some new content on YouTube or wherever it is on the internet. But I have something interesting. I'm going to play a round of GeoGuessr just to add a little variety to the channel as I'm working on the Madden content. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys don't know what GeoGuessr is, you pretty much just go around on like Google Earth or Google Maps. You stroll around and you try to find clues to see where you are. They drop you in the middle of nowhere, sometimes on the longest road in the country, and you just have to follow it to a city or a marker that tells you where to go, gives you clues, and then you try to guess as close as possible to where you are. So today, I say we'll do the United States just as the test run, see how it goes. Let's get into it. Okay. Here we go, round 1 of 5 in the United States. We spawned out in what looks like a pretty warm southern area here. Palm tree in the middle of this person's driveway or their yard here. So southwestern area, I would think. Here's our first clue of where we are. Business 21 and 601. There's a greenhouse over there. And Duke's Barbecue, which doesn't look like it's been inhabited in a while. Look at their drive-thru. Not very pleasing. So, since we found our first clue, 21 and 601, we'll head this way and see where it leads us. Okay, also, if you hear me writing, I take notes while I play this game. It's a little bit easier to remember, so you're not just thinking, okay, 601, all the numbers of the signs and the places where you're going. But here is our first clue. Because I was heading towards the junction, a major point in this roadway, it has some arrows and directionals to the nearest cities or big towns around this area. So we are currently heading east down this road. So north of us is St. Matthews, which is 12 miles away. And also Walterboro and Charleston are east of us. We are heading towards them east, but they are pretty far away. And the only Charleston that I know based on just right off the bat is Charleston, South Carolina. So maybe zoom into South Carolina and see if there's anything near there. So we got Charleston, and we're also looking for St. Matthews as well as Walterboro. Let's see if there's any of those around that we can see. None that I could see right off the bat. There's a bunch of vills, so if you're looking for vills, that might be easier. But St. Matthews is 12 miles to the north. So maybe we should head that way just to see what's going on there. So maybe we're not in South Carolina, but there are some saints. So maybe we are in the right area. It's just a smaller area. Although I just saw it, very small, over here, Walterboro, which is where this sign is pointing, which is the next closest place to us. So we must be around the St. Matthews area. So we have to check. Okay, we are also, if we head north and south, it would be Interstate 26. And I see Interstate 26 on this map. So I think we're in between Columbia and Charleston here. And like I said, I found Walterboro on the map. So we got to be pretty close. There's a St. George here, a St. Matthews here, and we are looking for... Oh wait, that's what we're looking for. St. Matthews. Okay, I found it. We're 12 miles, and that would be north of us. So we are 12 miles south of St. Matthews. Probably at this junction right here, because that says 601 and 21, what we were exactly looking for. So, zoom in to the city and find out where we are. Okay, based on the all of the interstate and road signs around, as well as the very nicely placed city signs, this is a very easy round, but we can't get too confident because if you guys know anything about GeoGuessr, you'll get spawned into a round where you're just on the longest road in the country, no mile markers or signs or anything that gives you any hints. Right here, we got an easy round. So, very nicely put, Orangeburg is 1 mile south of us. So, if we go on this map, which I found out based on the context clues of Charleston being in the picture, Orangeburg is 1 mile south of us, and we are on Chestnut Street here, as well as Magnolia. We're on that intersection. And very nicely placed as well, a giant CVS pharmacy. So we got to go back down to giant CVS Pharmacy Road and look at what we see here. Duke's Barbecue, which was the place that looks completely abandoned, but somehow is on the map. And sure enough, Duke's Bar-B-Q is right there. So we're across the street from there. Right across the street is a palm tree, and that is exactly where we are. We're to the right of it. So on the map, we are to the left of it a little, and boom, let's do our guess. Exactly 5,000 points, which is the max points that you can get. On to the second round. And did I tell you guys about spawning onto these maps in the middle of nowhere? Well, here we go. Second round is in the middle of nowhere, but we actually have some clues here. We're in between a giant railroad and what looks like the American Southwest. We are in a deserty environment, shrubs all around us, roads with barely any cars. At least there's one car on the road, so we know that this is a little bit inhabited of an area, and there's houses in the background. So let's get into it. Let's start looking around for some context clues that tell us where we are. I'm going to go down this little curvy section here. If I don't get into anything special here in a couple seconds, I'm going to turn around and head the other way. Unfortunately, someone passed away right there, so rest in peace to them. Let's go down this road. So there's actually some cars coming, but look at what all directions these cars are. Did we just flip-flop onto the other side of the road here? Okay, so here's our first clue. We are on something called the Big Chino Road. Very interesting name for a road there. So maybe that will give us a good clue if we can ever find out where we are. But I think because all of the cars were going one way, we should head that way too, because there must be some activity where they're heading. But look at this beautiful scenery. Besides the shrubs, and it looks like everything is pretty much dead. Great mountain range all the way around us right now. So we're in the middle of a valley between some mountain ranges. So that could be also another clue when we look on the map, just because it shows us the elevation markers based on the green and brown areas. So I would say we're in the district of Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, that area. That was terrible camera work right there by the Google car. So we're on Big Chino Road, and what's this intersection called? Is it really going to lead us down this road? Hello? Let me zoom out. And of course, perfectly placed little blurb right there so we can't see what's going on. Let me zoom out, please. I got to get back on this road over here. I think there's a yard sale going on, but I think it was a little bit past that yard sale time. So we're not going to go to the yard sale and ask those fellas, but we're on Naples. We're in the intersection of Naples right now. So that'll give us good context clues of exactly where we are when we spawned in on this map. We're going to have to head this way because there's no activity going on. There was a yard sale, but probably like a year ago based on that sign. Somebody ran it over. Okay, we got something here. What is this? Is this a... I don't know what that says. But it looks like it's some kind of acreage, so it's a realtor. Okay. Keep going down this road. We got a business up here. Maybe the business got a clue. Or maybe it's just a Dollar General. I don't know about you guys where you live, but they just like to put Dollar Generals up everywhere you go. And why is it only moving at this slow... Oh, here we go. And beautiful. The camera work completely changed. We're in a nice high resolution environment now. This was the business I was talking about. Apparently it's not that big of a business. It's just something... deals with oil tanks or something. But here we go, some signage, and that's exactly what we need to find some clues to where we are. So we got something station. It's blurred out because they like to do that on this game. That just makes it a little bit more difficult to play. Here we go, we got the transfer station, so I don't think that matters. We're not going to find transfer station on a map anytime soon. And why won't it let me walk? Just please let me go. I'm not really walking them in the car, but... let me get down. Oh, here we go. Sure enough. What did I tell you guys? I said Dollar General. I had the wrong franchise, but that's a Family Dollar. So, good for them. They got a Family Dollar out in the middle of the desert. Maybe they can get some water for the cactuses. Also, there's a cow crossing right here. That's convenient. Maybe the cows need to go to the Family Dollar. But okay, here we go onto this sign. We are in between Prescott and Ash Fork, and I think I know where Prescott is. Not Dak Prescott, because he's in Dallas. But Prescott, Arizona sounds familiar to me. Does it sound familiar to you guys? North and south is the way those directional arrows are pointing. We don't have any mileage in between those two, but we know that we're in between Ash Fork and Prescott. And if we go to Arizona, how easy is it to find Prescott? Or is Prescott even in Arizona? I can't remember. Okay, after a little spy work here, I have found Prescott, and it's beautifully placed because, like I said earlier, my comment that I made, we are completely surrounded by mountain ranges, and sure enough, look at Prescott. It's conveniently put between these mountain ranges, and also we are looking for Ash Fork, and Ash Fork is north of us. So if Prescott's south, Ash Fork's up there, we have to between Paulden and Chino Valley, and sure enough, the road that we were on is called Big Chino Road. So I think we should look for the Family Dollar because all the cows go to Family Dollar. Or was it Dollar General? No, it's Family Dollar for sure. Don't even have to look back on that. Once again, I made the mistake of saying Dollar General because that is the franchise in my area. But in this area, it is Family Dollar because the families of cows have a crossing right across the street from there. So there the cows going over to Family Dollar. And here it is. Family Dollar and Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware must be down the street a little ways. But this is exactly where we are. And the intersection we were on was Naples. So let's look for that Naples intersection, Kyoto. Is there some Japanese influence over here? Here is Naples Street, and that is exactly the intersection that we were on. So I'm going to place my little guy down and go back to the start so we can find out exactly where we are. We're just in the middle of a range. Over here, there's a curve in the street going north. And where is that curve in the street? I can't seem to recognize it based on this map. But how far were we away from this intersection up here? Not too far away, I don't think. So there's Naples, comes out right here. Where is the Santa Fe at? I don't even see that on the map. Where is the Santa Fe? Unless this used to be a road and it's still on there. That could be the case. It could be just a little off-road venture that you have to take. It looks like some cars actually use that route anyways. So this one's going to be a little bit difficult. Probably not going to get the high score of 5,000 on this one. There's a little bit of a curve in the road right here, so I think that should do fine. Again, I'm not looking for mastering this on a perfect score. I'm just trying to get the best score possible. So the curve is going that way. And in the road, the curve is going that way. So we're just going to place our guy here. That's decent enough. And let's do our guess. Boom! Another 5,000. Two right on the marker. But like I said, you can never get your confidence up enough because you could go 5,000s for every single round, but once you get to the last round, you're just in the middle of nowhere with no clues. So here we go. Next round, round 3. Round 3, we are in a very gloomy environment, but we have a sign here with some clues on it. We have a little bit of a town or city with some signs over there. So let's get into it. Let's look at these signs, see what they have to say. And also, sometimes in the United States, the camera quality, I'm sure it's like this in other countries too, but the camera quality in some places is horrendous and it just ruins your whole game because you're on a place where you can't even see what the signs have to say. So here we go, our first 2 clues. The first 2 rounds were super easy. Hopefully it's the same for this one. There's a turnoff for Clayton and Railroad Road. So 2 roads and 1 road. Railroad Road and Clayton are to the north of us, so that is our first clue. And the post office, and that is a great clue because when you go to the post office, most of the time it tells you what city you're in and the 2 letters of the state that you're in. So let's head down this Railroad Road, even with the quality being horrendous. And what just happened? We were teleported across. Okay, so I think the town is called Clayton. Clayton Drive-In, and the post office. So we know we're in a place called Clayton, and it won't take us down the post office road. So that is no fun there. They ruined another perfect round for us. But we know we're in a place called Clayton, And based on the scenery around us, we could be literally anywhere in the Midwest or Northeast, anywhere in the country, maybe even the South. But here is another clue. We are on the US 395. So if we ever find out what state or area that we're in, we have some clues here. Railroad Road, like I have said before, as well as US 395. And we are in some place known as Clayton. They have a drive-in and a post office, but apparently we can't go down the post office road. So hopefully the camera quality stays good. Okay, here we go. Here's a big sign. Billboards are always good. Usually they just give what cities you're closest to, but they could also say the state sometimes, and that's the sign we've already seen. So we don't need another reference to that one. Okay, let's see. At Tires Les Schwab, there is a place nearby called Deer Park. So also, when we zoom into the map of wherever we are close to Deer Park when we're going to turn left on Crawford to go to Deer Park. Okay, we're on a little curvy little road. There's a passing lane nearby. What is this? The population sign? No, the fairgrounds are nearby. Cool, we can go to the fair while we're here in Clayton. It's looking a little southern Midwest to me in this area. I don't know what you guys are thinking right now. You're probably thinking, why is it taking him so long? You could have gone to the post office. Well, it wouldn't let me go to the post office. But here we go. We are driving on a tiny little road next to a railroad, so I understand the name of the post office route. But here we go. I think that person in the car that we just drove past was covering their face because the Google car was coming by. But the Clayton Fairgrounds seems like a big place. And what does this sign say? Spokane County. Spokane. Not in Washington, or maybe in Washington. We'll have to take that down as a clue. This doesn't really seem like the American Northwest, but this guy's got an Oregon sticker on his car, and if you know anything about football, the Oregon Ducks, Marcus Mariota, went to that school, and I'm going to take that as another clue. So we are in Oregon, even though it doesn't look like it. I've never been to Oregon before, but I was expecting some big trees, some evergreens. But this looks like some nice farmland out in Oregon. And what was the thing? Spokane County. So, I thought Spokane was in Washington, but I could be wrong. Okay, Spokane is in Washington, but maybe this guy is an Oregon fan in Washington. It just places us in this vicinity. And we're looking for Clayton and Deer Park. We have some clues. We are also on the 395. So I will look around and I'll catch you guys when I have a little clue to our location. Okay, I have some good news. After searching around the vicinity that I had circled on the screen, we're either between Oregon and Washington, and Spokane is a big city in Washington. I have found where we are. This is the 395, and if that sounds familiar, that's what we were on. So you zoom in a little bit. There's so many towns, it can be overwhelming at times, but you just have to follow the route that you're on. So if you follow the route up a little bit, and with our Spokane reference, here we go, Deer Park and Clayton. So we are on the 395, as we know, and Clayton was right here. There was a turnoff at the Clayton Drive-In. So guess what? We aren't going to the U.S. Post Office, but we are on the right route for another good score here. Return to the start. See how close we were to this intersection. Pretty darn close. And that was the Railroad Ave. They call it the Ave here. So the signage is a little bit mischievous. It's not called the Railroad Road because obviously that's a mouthful. We are on Railroad Avenue, apparently. So, and there's Clayton Fairgrounds, which is a giant place. So that's pretty cool. So we are pretty close to this intersection, but it's going to be hard to kind of judge where we are because we have no other reference to where we are just based on this little spot that we're in. We're in a V right here where there was a passing lane and a turning lane into this. So maybe look for the V in the road, and sure enough, here is the V in the road. So maybe that gives us just a little bitty clue. We're not at the end of the V. We're already in the V area. So I'm going to go right here in the V. We didn't move. We're looking over here. It's a little gloomy. Storm's coming in. But there's our guess, and another 5,000. 3 great rounds thus far. Into the 4th we go. And this is exactly the rounds that I do not like, that I was telling you guys about before. Look at the camera quality. Obviously a bird crapped on the camera lens or something happened. They need to get out there and wash the camera lens because we are in a problem area. It's fall outside, which makes it pretty nice looking. The sun's out, the clouds are gone. It's a nice little area. But if we had a little bit better of quality camera work, we could easily find where we are. And why does this? That is just a barn. It is not a sign, so I'm not going to keep chasing it. That barn was running around through the farmland. We're on this tiny little country road. I don't know exactly where we are, obviously. Got to look for some clues. And also, I don't like these rounds because there is no evident clue at all to tell us exactly where we are right now. Is this going to lead to a dead end or what? But like I said, sometimes you get on these roads and there's absolutely no clues. And this, not to be offensive to anyone if you live in this area, but this looks like a dump. What is going on in this place? There is like a picnic blanket outside with a dog thing, and I'm pretty sure the dog was waving to us as we went by. Maybe the dog lives there, who knows? But let's keep going. Also, we came to an intersection, and what is going on in this place? Maybe the dogs live down this road, so they don't keep it as clean as humans do. But here we go. Like I said, the camera quality is horrific. Can't even see what the sign says. I don't want to even guess what that says. So we're going to have to find some more clues. Pretty shiny. Oh, did we get... Oh, beautiful. We get transported in an entirely new environment now. Something is wrong with the pixels here. But the street sign is gone. So maybe the dogs took the street sign down after the Google car came here originally, so they couldn't find him again. But we are on a really nice road now. Camera quality is pretty nice. We're just going to have to find where we are based on some other context clues, some giant silos. So we're in some farmland area. I would say the Midwest once again. Before I was wrong. Obviously, we were clearly in Washington. But this time, it looks like we are in the Midwest somewhere. There's some giant barns. Those look pretty cool. Giant red barns. I don't see any animals thus far. We just saw one dog. No livestock anywhere to be seen. Here is our first sign. Will it give us a good clue? We are on the 120 South in a triangle formation, so that's pretty interesting. What state has triangles like that? That could be a clue. If I was a GeoWizard, I would know what sign this is based on the state, but I do not know what the triangle state is. That looks like that. But we are coming up to some signs here, hopefully with some more clues. That one definitely not a clue. That one just looked like a corkscrew or something. And what is this? Oh God, a tractor crossing, but there's no Family Dollar or Dollar General around. So that's just a tractor crossing just in the middle of the road, so watch out there. Yeah, the cows, they were going to Family Dollar, but this one, I don't know where the cows are. What is that? It has a little red and white thing on it. Am I supposed to know what state that is? And it won't let me get any closer. Tennessee! We are in Tennessee. So in the Midwest towards the south, we are in Tennessee. That is a cool seat buckle. I don't know what they're blurring out there, but that's pretty interesting. So Tennessee has no people living in the town, just a couple of dogs and a tractor. We are in the Tennessee state line, actually. So we're in between Tennessee and another state. So this is pretty interesting. I don't think I've had one of these yet where we're on a state line in between two states. So Tennessee. How many states surround Tennessee? We got 3 down here, 2. A lot of states surround Tennessee. I mean a lot. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states surround Tennessee. This is a landlocked place. We have a long way to go before we get any clues of exactly where we are. So if that's the Tennessee state line, there should be a state line telling us what state we are currently going into. What the hell happened to this sign? Did a tractor run into it? No, it's the Kentucky crossing. So apparently some Wild West guy just came out here and absolutely obliterated this sign. Probably the tractor driver. So we are on the state line in between Kentucky and Tennessee. And we were on, what the heck was the road called? The 120? So I will look around on the map for a little while. If I don't get any clues, although there's a clue up here, so maybe I shouldn't go just yet. Not that clue. That's not a clue at all. It just tells us how many miles per hour we can go around that curve. Where did the clue go? Sometimes the Google thing just jumps way ahead. We are on the 139 north, so I will catch you guys if I find out where we are. Okay, as I am going across the bottom edge of Kentucky into Tennessee, I'm looking for the signs that we have seen so far, and boom, shakalaka, 139 to 120 over here in Bumpus Mills. Interesting name here, Bumpus Mills. I think we were on Turner Road. Okay, right where we are right now, we know that we are crossing into Tennessee, which is where it turns into the 120. It's kind of interesting how they just changed the name of the street that you're on, even though you're in a different state. They just change it up. I mean, I do understand that we're crossing state lines, but I don't know why you have to change that. Okay, so we are going straight, coming to a curve, which I can only think would be this right here. So we're into Cheatham Hollow, and how welcoming this city or town kind of seemed. They had no welcome to the town marker. With this giant barn, they could have done some kind of advertising to tell you, hey, this is where you are. But nope, they don't do that here. Nobody lives here except for a couple of dogs. Okay, here we are, where the dogs live, and we're at the stop sign. This is the first turnoff on this, which turns into the Cadiz Road. So we're on Turner Road. We know that for a fact. We're on Turner Road. Let's go down Turner Road into this hellacious place. I don't know who lives in this house, but hopefully they made it a little bit nicer for the Google car the next time it comes by. And hopefully the dog is a little bit more nice with how they lay out their yard. But he came out to scare us that time. So we're down Turner Road here. And apparently on Turner Road there is an intersection or a turnoff for James Place. So maybe we're going to have to go to the dog named James's Place for that. Okay, we cross a little bit of what used to be a river or a little stream. Is that on the map? No, of course not. It is not on the map. Usually it would have a little bridge marker or some kind of thing that would tell you, is this the turnoff to James Place? Hey, yo, I'm going over to James Place. This looks like it could have been something a long time ago, way before the Google Maps. So, I don't know if that's James' place or what, but James lives out in the woods somewhere. We are on the middle of a little bit of a curve, if that does us anything. And we know we're not near these houses owned by the dogs. We're down the street from the dogs. Unless, is this a house? Nope. Somebody just parked their car in the middle of this roadway. And this is a gated off little farmland area. And we are up a couple hills. So probably not going to get the bonus on this round or the 5,000 points. But I'm going to say we are right around this area. Hopefully not back over here. Hopefully around here. And boom. But we missed it by 4. Let's see where we are. We were more towards the right. Obviously that was James' Place that I was telling you guys about. That little turnoff that wasn't really a turnoff. So we did pass James' Place. There's more curvature in the road. I should have went by that. But we just lose out of a perfect game. Let's head into the last round. Okay, the last round is here, and this is a beautiful place we are in. Look at the trees going around the road. We are definitely in the north somewhere, northeast, northwest, somewhere where the trees are beautiful, lively, pine trees, evergreens, whatever they're called. Some kind of coniferous tree, I believe is what you would call them. And boom, we just run car accident right into a giant truck. And what does it say here? The Snohomish County. So we're in whatever that word is, I think that might be a Pokemon they came up with. Sonamhish. Report illegal dumping. Maybe I should call that number so he can just tell us where we are. But we got in a car accident with him, so we might have to get his insurance anyways. We are on Dubuque Road. Interesting name. Oh no, we were on Storm Lake Road, which had the intersection with Dubuque. Okay, and then what does it say over here? Wonderland is nearby. Wonderland Park. Interesting. They got their license plates. That's another clue that you can have on GeoGuessr. If the license plates are on both sides of the car or only on one side of the car. Looks like the license plates are on both sides of the car anyways. Watch out. This tree's got a bounty on him. So if anybody wants some quick money, just take that tree out. So I have heard of this Dubuque or something familiar to it. I think that is French, I would have to say. I don't know. I'm not a linguistic expert or whatever you call it, but that kind of sounds like a French term. Storm Lake Road, that's exactly what we were on. Storm Lake Road. That's interesting. Storm on the Lake. That's a pretty cool name. Going down the road some more. This one says Caldwell Banker, so maybe we can give her a call. Down there in the fine print is probably what city we're in or going to. That is pretty cool. Keep your kids safe and away from the rain when they're waiting for the bus. That is a pretty nice little shack for them. The flat list real estate. So all of these houses are for sale. I wonder why. What is this? Just an old mailbox or a sign? An old mailbox. And look at that, a whole family of deer crossing the little route over there. How cute. Bambi and I don't know anything else more than there's a deer called Bambi. Pretty sure somebody died in that situation, but we're not killing them today. Okay, here we go. There could be a state park or something nearby. What does that say? Flowing Lake County Park. Interesting. I have now noticed, if it is something to be said, there are mountains in the background, which means we are in some selective locations in North America. The mountain range, the Appalachian Mountains are over here, so we have a good choice. Virginia, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania in that area. Or we could be in the Northwest over here in Oregon again, or Washington. This is a really nice place. I don't know why these people are all selling their homes or all these houses are for sale, so maybe they have just created these. What is this? A rabbit crossing now? We have seen a lot of wildlife on our little trek through GeoGuessr for this first episode. We've seen deer, we've seen dogs, we saw a cow crossing over to Family Dollar. So this has been pretty interesting thus far. We just need a big road sign or something that tells us where we are. Carlson Road and more houses for sale. This is so interesting. Okay, I had to double back. I went back down Dubuque or whatever the road was called, where we were at the original intersection where we spawned in. Gone down a little ways here. There's no real clues, but out of the corner of my eye, when you go on one screen, it is blurred out, but the next time you go closer to it, there is a number, which I believe is the zip code to the area that we're in. And if you know anything about zip codes, the East Coast, those were the first states created, so their zip codes are very low. Like, I don't know one off the top of my head, but they begin with like 00 something, and they go on. In the middle of the country, the states are in the 4s and the 5s. This is in the 9,000 or the 90,000 range. So the first number is 94, and that leaves me to believe that we are on the West Coast somewhere, one of the later states to be in the United States. To report back to you after traveling for miles, literally miles on that road that we were on, I have finally come across a great piece of evidence, not on any of these trees. I don't know what they're doing to this tree, but I'm pretty sure that's abuse. I've come across this Lake Rossiger over here. Giant mountain in the background, beautiful looking place. But when I zoomed in on these little lakes over here, looking around, I came across the Pokemon Snow Hamish, which, if you guys know, that is exactly where we were, or we were in the county of Snohomish. So we are nearby to this Lake Rosigger. Gonna have to find that. I've been looking forever, and now I have found it. Lake Rosigger, which is exactly where we are. And there it is. Dubuque, however you want to say that. I'm gonna have to look up what that is or what that means. But we have finally gotten a lead that will bring us to our finishing point. Storm Lake Road is exactly what we were on when we started this one. Boom, shakalaka. Go back to the start. We were around a bend, a couple of bends. They had the bends over here. Boom. This is exactly where we are, around this area somewhere. We were heading north. So we are on this. Okay, so we are around a bend, and then the truck disappears into the woods. So I would say we're around this area right here. Actually, I think I got my guy in a pretty good spot. So I'm just going to keep it there. And here we go. Last round. Oh, we were 1 point from perfect. 1 single point. And we also had 2 in Washington, which is pretty interesting that it would place us there twice. A little bit off. There was a bend over there, but that seemed like a nicer bend. And that will do it for this one. 24,995. We were off by a total of 5 points. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please drop a like if you enjoyed. I will make more content like this. I play more GeoGuessr if you guys want to see it. It's been your boy, Sleek. Peace.